yoga has an image problem, or more specifically, I'd say it has a body image problem. See, we have been exposed to so many people who look the same thin, flexible, gymnastic, white bodies that it's almost sort of the two have started to blend together, or sort of hybridize in a weird way, where there's an expectation that if you are not flexible, yoga will make you flexible. If you're not in good shape, whatever that means, yoga will like help you to get into good shape. And it's an issue, I think, because I don't think that yoga is exclusively about helping you move from one state to another state. Maybe it is, but what if that state is moving you from not being comfortable or feeling at home in your body to a state of feeling comfortable and feeling at home in your body? Now, fortunately, there's a lot of really good yoga teachers working to change this. And today, we're going to take a look at one of those yoga teachers. Her name is Jessamyn Stanley. She's got a class here that is like yoga for big bodies. It is a beginner friendly, sort of plus sized, lower backs focused yoga. And what I want to do is just sort of look at what she's teaching, how she's teaching it, and what we might pick up from some of the stuff surrounding her style of yoga, her style of teaching, yeah, hopefully along the way we can learn a little something about yoga, about ourselves, about yoga teaching. Speaking of that, hi, I'm Colin. Welcome to Yoga Mat Virtuoso. In this show, what I do is I sort of review yoga videos that I find on YouTube. And I try to find things that I think might be inspiring, things that maybe need a little bit of refinement or a little bit of work. And overall, what I'm aiming for is to bring in an element of peer review to yoga teaching. So having said all that, now let's just jump straight over to the video, and we'll let Jessamyn take it from here. All right, Jessamyn, it's all you.
Hello. Hi. How's it going? What's good, y'all? How is your day going today? My name is Jessamyn Stanley, and welcome to my channel. Here, we practice the yoga of everyday life. And today, we are going to do a very beginner-friendly flow. This is going to be so good if you've never practiced yoga before, but you're like, bitch, I really want to get on the mat. I want to see what this yoga thing is about. I want to have fun. I want to feel like I did some shit, but I'm not trying to do the most.
I like her attitude a lot. She's got
Props are amazing.
She's got like a really sort of a very natural way of communicating. Very relaxed, very comfortable, and right away I feel at ease here. I feel like she's just sort of like welcoming me into the class, which I really appreciate.
I've got some blocks here, got a strap here, might reach for them at some point, but you don't actually need anything other than your beautiful self. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and become a member of the Underbelly here on YouTube by going over to our subscribe page. You can hit that, you can become a member, and then you can take lots of classes just like this one. But that's enough of that. Let's get into the flow for today. I'm gonna face you. You can face the front of your mat. It's kind of whatever makes the most sense for you. But literally, we're just gonna start finding a standing position that feels comfortable for you. We're gonna find your mountain pose. Traditionally, mountain pose is practiced with the feet together, big toes touching, maybe a couple inches in between the heels. You can also bring the heels together. But I like to go kind of wide for mountain pose. You can go wider than hip distance apart. You can go hip distance apart. You can bring the feet together. It's whatever makes the most sense for you. But just sink in here.
That is a very wide stance for mountain pose. I'm not sure I've ever seen a mountain pose with a stance so wide. But I'll say this. I like the fact that instead of saying, come into mountain pose, put your feet this far apart, she said, find the thing that works for you. But she didn't just leave it at find the thing that works for you. Here, let me just yoga teachers have to do better than just saying find the thing that works for you. Your job as a yoga teacher is to help people find the thing that works for them. So what you do is exactly what she just did. You say, I want to help you find the thing that works for you. It might be this, it might be that. Try this, try that, try this, try that. You try a whole bunch of things, and now which one works best for you? So that's a really, really good tip there is don't just give people one option. But also don't say do whatever works and just leave people to sink or swim and figure it out on their own. Give people a whole bunch of options and then encourage them to do the thing that works. I like that. I like that.
Feel the weight go through every part of your foot, from your toes through your heels, and get heavy. Let your knees get soft too. Relax your shoulders. And as you stand here, you let your body get soft, start to curl in on itself. And just start swinging your arms from side to side. Take up space. So much of our lives, we're trying not to take up space. Trying to take up as little space as possible. Here, take up a lot of space. Go wide. You might hit the wall. You might hit you might hit your children. You might hit the dog. You might hit your partner. And then as you're ready, let your head go side to side too. You can look behind you. Your arms are gonna slap your body. It's good. Feel yourself.
She's a riot. She just smacked her plant. So here, the thing, she almost fell over. The thing that I was going to say is that this idea, what is she up to? The idea of like taking up space is a really, really good cue. I love that. That, don't get small, get big, take up more space. Like what a great message to give students in a yoga class is to like expand, right? Don't contract, expand.
This is a place where you might be like, bitch, Jessamyn, I cannot balance this way. So best case, go over to the wall, put your hand on the wall. It's literally perfect. Bring your right knee up to your chest. And you can, I think like when you got belly going on, it's nice to bring the right knee like kind of out to the side. So you can like bring it out to the side. And if it's hard to get the grip, take your strap, use that to get the grip. You can also bring the knee onto the wall. It's really whatever makes the most sense for you. So you have like hand on the wall, both hands around the knee. You're rooting into the left big toe the whole time. And you're just seeing what's going on. And you see, I'm coming out of the pose, I'm stabilizing my hips. You're really just trying to see what's going on in your body without shame and without judgment. What if nothing is bad about your body? What if you were made this way on purpose?
What if you were made this way on purpose?
And then drop that right leg down.
What if, hey? What if? What if you didn't need to change? What if you didn't need to fix something? Come on now, this is good.
So you're rooting into your right big toe, and this is just gonna tell you a lot about what feels good.
I can see why she got to be so popular, because she's a fairly popular yoga teacher, and her not only her demeanor is really quite good, but that the message, she had her foot on a plant now, but the message of like what if you don't need to change? What if you are the way you are for a reason? That is a very powerful message, and something that I think modern yoga could use a lot of. Couple things I want to point out while she's stretching with her leg up against a wall here is from a point of view of an Iyengar yoga teacher, this is fairly disorganized. Like she's just is almost sort of flopping around, and she's in and out of the postures, and up and down with the leg, and she's on the plant and on the wall. And there's an Iyengar yoga teacher in me right now that's like, what are you doing? On the other hand, that little dance is funny. On the other hand, though, it's interesting because that randomness of like knee on the wall, knee away from the wall, got a strap, foot on the plant, into, out of, up, like that. It is two things. One is it's providing a lot of alternatives and a lot of possibilities for her students like that. Second thing is it's actually giving permission to her students to come out of the pose if they wobble and not be weird, not be like, whoops, I came out. So a part of me wonders, actually, does she have bad balance and wobble around a lot? Or is she actually quite a good practitioner and intentionally wobbles around and throws herself around, does a bunch, in order to say to her students, it's okay, look at me, I'm doing it, so it's fine if you do it. That is an interesting prospect. Again, I can see why she's popular.
I'm bringing my feet together. That just makes me feel a little bit more sturdy, a little bit more stable, but that is a personal choice. You can have your feet wide. Interlace the fingers. You interlace the fingers, but you let the pointer fingers go up to the sky and the thumbs cross over one another. Shoulders are relaxed. Let me turn around so you can see me. Oh. Relax your butt. You're gonna wanna like squeeze your butt a little bit. Just say hello to your body.
Okay, I'm not quite sure what you want me to do with my butt though. That in quick succession, relax your butt and then squeeze your butt. So I'm not quite sure what to do with my butt. Should I relax it and then squeeze it? Maybe that's just like do stuff with your butt. I'm not quite sure there. So little fuzzy on that one.
Reaching up, and you're reaching up, yes, but you're also pushing the ground away with your feet. And you may be seated right now. If you're seated, same thing. You're pushing the ground away.
When did we get seated right now? Was that even given as an option? Like apparently that is an option, which is cool. But that was never stated before, so that's odd.
Drop down. So you can drop, inhale up through your fingertips up to the sky, and then exhale, drop over to your left. Ha! Stretching through that side of your body. You can come back up through center.
This would be better facing towards us. You'd get a better visual on like what to do. Oh, what? She heard me.
Dropping side to side. Let your head be heavy. Just drop from side to side as it feels right. Oh, yes. You are so powerful, so strong, so capable. When you're ready, come back up through center. Exhale the arms down by your side. Very nice. Shake them out. Roll your head around. Shake your arms out. Okay. Now step up to the top of your mat. Bring your hands onto your hips. We're going to keep the right leg where it is, but step the left leg back behind you. You're going to press into the back edge of your left foot, and your left foot is turned at like a 45-ish degree angle. It's like somewhere in there. And you're going to square your hips toward the front edge of your mat. Really press actively into the back edge of your left foot. Press into your right big toe. And you're going to wiggle your feet so that they're like hips distance apart from one.
That's the second time the big toe has come up. The first time is when she was doing a standing, that standing knee to chest, and she said ground into the big toe. And I wrote it. I just made a note for myself about what about the big toe. Like I'm not quite sure why. Potentially it's an American thing. Do Americans watching this? Do you use the ball of the big toe and the big toe interchangeably? When you say big toe, do you also mean the ball of the big toe? Because that would make a little bit more sense to me. Yeah, I'm not quite sure on that one. There also heel. The heel maybe might be a good place. That's a pretty big spot on the foot to put some weight on too. So I'm not, yeah.
Just check that out, see what's going on. And then pick up your belly. I'm gonna reach inside my leggings, or inside my shorts, and place it to firmly the inside of my right thigh. Really get intimate with yourself. And then sink deep into that right knee. You're pressing actively into the back edge of the left foot. That will tell you how deep you can sink. Relax the shoulders, and then spiral the left arm up to the sky. Bring the right arm up, warrior one.
It would be good to indicate how that would tell you how far you can bend the front knee. Like, she's right, it does. But when that outside edge of the foot starts to lift up, or if your knee starts to buckle, that's how you know you've gone too far. So I just would have taken that a little bit further.
And then bring the hands to the hips. Extend the right leg towards straight. Parallel your feet. Let's do that on the other side. So you're going to turn your left foot so that it's parallel with the long edge of your mat. The right foot is going to be at like a 45-degree angle. The feet are heel to heel, but the feet are also at about hips distance apart. It's kind of a weird thing. Like, there's some alignment things in yoga that you'll be like, bitch, what? And like, that's okay. It doesn't have to make sense today. It's not a big deal. You're not doing it wrong. You're perfect. So press into the back edge of your right foot. Press into your left.
I happen to agree. I think that there are a lot of alignment instructions in yoga that are a little fuzzy. They're just not, it's not very clear. And that is a good example of, but I think that she made an example that wasn't necessary. You often will hear an alignment point of align the heel to heel for warrior one. You'll also hear feet hips distance apart in warrior one. And sometimes you get those two messages and you're like, but which one is right? So that can be a problem, but you don't need to give both at the same time. So I would have gone back to what she did earlier, which is like, you can do it this way or you can do it that way. Find the one that works best for you, as opposed to saying, do it. What is she doing? I got to hear this.
I don't even know what, like a pin needle, pin cushion, a porcupine foot for sure. That's good. That's your foot waking up. Sink a little bit deeper into that front knee. You got this. And then extend that left leg straight. Bring the hands onto your hips. Parallel your feet. You are so powerful. Let's turn that right foot out so that it is parallel with the long edge of your mat. Again, this time keep the left.
I still don't know what a porcupine foot. I missed that.
Check out your feet. See that the heel of your right foot is coming into the arch of your back foot. Just check that out, see what's going on. And then from here, we're gonna use this anchor of the back foot, press into the back edge of the back foot, press into that right big toe, and then sink deep into the right knee. We're coming into warrior two pose. And again with the belly, pick up the belly, place it to the inside of your thighs. So the last time, we were squaring the hips to the front edge of the mat. This time, we're gonna square the hips to the side. So get, like literally, I'm putting my hands so that they frame my crotch and really spread the pelvis open. I go into a lot more detail about anatomy in my naked yoga classes on OnlyFans. We'll put a link down below so that you can check those out too. So if you wanna get into the nitty gritty of these postures, go over to OnlyFans. But here, I'm just, even with clothes on, picking up my butt cheeks, picking up my belly, squaring the pelvis open. Try to line up.
Well, let's chat about that for a second, okay? So here's an interesting thing. I think that there is a tension that exists between body positivity on the one hand and remaining respectful to Indian traditions related to yoga. So if you are a very sort of traditional yoga practitioner in India, for you, yoga is rooted in study of the Bhagavad Gita, of the Upanishads, of the Vedas. Yoga is a more religious practice. Then nudity in yoga would be considered very inappropriate. Okay, so we want to be how to say, respectful, and we want to honor the roots of yoga. We want to honor the Indian culture that gave birth to yoga, obviously, right? At the same time, though, we do want to be body positive and inclusive, and that body positivity, I think there is a role for naked yoga for people who have some body image issues. I think doing yoga naked might be a very effective way to befriend the body, and to get over a lot of those sort of like hang-ups and self-hate and judgment and that kind of thing. So it does sort of place us in kind of an interesting position, doesn't it? Where we're like, which one? Like which one? Because I think that it is difficult to reconcile those things, and that's something that I think like a lot of more progressive yoga teachers might be wise for you to kind of struggle with that one a little bit. It might be wise for you just to kind of ponder on it, like which one wins in that instance. And not that one of them wins, one of them loses, but how do we reconcile those two things? And I think that at this point is a little unclear.
That front knee, front ankle, your body is going to start to tremble and shake. That's good. That means that you're coming into the posture. Balance isn't actually stability. It's not stillness. Balance is the space in between the quivers. Bring the arms out so they're parallel with the ground. Relax the shoulders. Gaze over the front fingertips.
I've always said, like, there's no such thing as balance. It's balancing, right? That balance is a myth. We're moving. We're constantly in motion. So if you happen to find balance, it would never last, right? You momentarily go through the center before going to the other side. So it's really always a process of balancing, and not this thing called balance.
Onto your hips. Check out your feet. See that the heel of that front foot is coming into the arch of your back. Press into the back edge of your right foot. Press into your left big toe. Use that anchor point to sink deep into the left knee. So
my suspicion is that she had a teacher that used to say ground into your big toe a lot, and then that just sort of became a habitual thing that happened. It's very instructional, I think, for a lot of yoga teachers, is to kind of interrogate some of those instructions, and until you have some peer review, like until you have somebody that just sort of like listens to the cues that you use and says, is that the cue you actually want to use? We don't even think to change it because we're like, it's just the way that it is. It's just the thing that I say.
You can't do it. Bring the arms out so they're parallel with the ground. Gaze over your front fingertips. Pelvis is squared out to the side. Ha. Release your jaw, gaze over the front fingertips. Heart open. Breathe. Sink a little bit deeper into that front knee. Take one more big breath here. Then extend that left leg straight. Parallel your feet. Hands onto your hips. You got this. If you need to, you can definitely drop down to your knees. You can bring the feet together. Whatever feels good. But if you want, lean into your inner masochist. Turn that right leg out so the right foot is parallel with the long edge of the mat again. Left foot can turn in a little bit more. Heel to heel alignment again here. Press into that right big toe. Press into the whole of your left foot. Hands are on the hips. And then with the hands on the hips, just draw the hips back. Draw the pelvis back a little bit. Every time I do stuff like this, my tongue pops out too. It's because the body is aligned. So like if your body is making any weird sounds or doing anything strange, it's all good. It's all good. It's all gravy. Now I'm going to take my hand onto a block here. So I'm going to bring a block under.
So just quick, getting ready to do triangle pose, she said, take your pelvis back. And it was unclear to me which back we were talking about. Did she mean to tilt the pelvis forward, like an anterior pelvic tilt? Or did she mean like to sort of bring the pelvis back away from the front leg? So that was a little foggy for me.
Triangle pose, there's a different triangle for everybody. I'm gonna take a couple blocks actually. And we have, if you are looking for yoga blocks, we've got some in the Underbelly shop. We'll drop a link down below so that you can check that out.
So here's something interesting is that we already saw her do triangle pose with her hand on the ground. We know that she can do that. She has the flexibility to do that. So why does she have 3 blocks? Why does she even have 1 block if she doesn't need it? I'll tell you why. It's because the demonstration's not for her. She's not doing yoga right now. She's not practicing yoga. She's demonstrating a posture. Who is the demonstration for? Not for her. It's for the students. So she thinks, yes, I can get my hand on the ground, but I wonder if my students can. I wonder if that'll be good for them. I wonder if they might see me with my hand on the ground and think to themselves, I should also put my hand on the ground. So she grabs 3 blocks, stacks them underneath there as a way of saying, hey, grab some stuff and put it underneath there, right?
Back foot is back.
So that's really interesting. What is the demonstration for? Is it to show off? Is it as an art piece? Is it to provide inspiration to an aspiring yogi that they can look at somebody in a very long and limber posture and be impressed by that? Or is it to provide instruction? And my take is that it is to provide instruction. It seems like that's Jessamyn's take as well.
Extending through the crown of your head.
She makes a lot of noises. A lot of that. And I like that. I think, again, that's like permission, just encouraging people to learn to let go vocally. Like that.
Take your hand off the ground entirely. Hello, core work. Hello. Spiraling the heart open. Gracious. Gratitude. Life is beautiful, even when it's bullshit. Smile up to the sky. One more big breath. And then come on back up. Come on back up. Parallel your feet. Bring your hands onto your hips. Draw your heart up to the sky.
She's super duper funny.
Inhale the heart up. Exhale, forward fold over your legs. Now here, put a huge bend in your knees. Let your head come down and be heavy. This is a great place for blocks. Bring your hands onto blocks. You can bring your head onto a block. Oh, that is dreamy. Oh my God. Shoulders relaxed.
Have you ever seen that before? I'm not sure I have. Elbows on blocks and block for underneath the head. Not sure I've seen that variation with blocks before, so that's kind of awesome. I like that.
In the opposite direction, let your hips go up to the sky. And you can reach back and pull your butt cheeks apart. Whew. Spread your thighs apart.
Yeah, I like her. She's very likable, isn't she?
And then drop down to your knees. Take your time. And you can sit on your knees. You can also sit on your butt. So truly, if you want to come down onto your butt, cross your legs, you can have your legs extended out wide. Whatever it takes for you to feel steady. And the more space you take up, the better. Not every part of yourself gets soft.
She comes back to this idea of taking up space a number of times, which is that's good. That's good teaching. That repetition's really good.
Close your eyes.
Some birds chirping in the background. I just waiting for that. I feel like there's a message coming, and I want to get that.
Heart. Bring the other over your belly. Say thank you to yourself for bringing you this far, carrying you through, for always being there, always being you. Bring your palms together in front of your heart. Drop your gaze down.
Okay, I think we're probably wrapping up there. So, look, I think I want to wrap this up with 3 points. Okay, so thing number one, like I said earlier, as an Iyengar yoga instructor, as someone schooled in Iyengar yoga, I look at some of the organization of the practice, and I'm like, it looks messy. It just looks kind of chaotic and disorganized, and so there is definitely a part of me that's like, that needs work. However, she was very, very clear from the outset that this was about not trying to change what you are and who you are and how you function, what your body looks like and how it works. And when you take those two things together, I think it's really clear that some of that, what appears as disorganized practice, is actually an invitation. That's like, we are not chasing a particular standard in terms of practice, particularly an aesthetic standard, a way the posture should look. That she's encouraging students just to sort of like let it all hang out, right? Which is fantastic. Thing number two, this idea of taking up more space. I can't even imagine how many times somebody has felt like they needed to shrink. They needed to not take up space, not only in the world around us, but actually in yoga classes. This feeling of like, whoops, sorry, whoops, and like, I got to be careful about how I do and what I do and all this stuff. And it's so refreshing to be like, nah, like take up, just go, be big. It's good, be big. Take up space, enjoy that experience of taking up space. Absolutely love that. And then thing number three is like this practice, when you look at the sequence, we had a quick little balancing posture at the start. She's standing on one foot with her foot on the plant, slapping her arms around a little bit, just like a little bit of a warm-up thing. Warrior 1, Warrior 2, triangle, standing forward fold, wide-legged standing forward fold. And then she sat down, did a quick little meditation. we talk about like 4 or 5 postures. It's 4 or 5 postures. So basic, hey? Like it's so, there's, in terms of like sequencing, yoga teachers, please just listen to me. Listen to me, please. This is not the kind of sequence that you sit down and calculate and work out timing and choreograph, and you're trying to remember how the moves that you did on one side and then on to the other side, and trying to be creative and crafty and clever and come up with something new and interesting. No, this is just like yoga. It's just a bunch of postures. So simple, so straightforward, and yet from the heart, hey? Very authentic, very relatable, relaxed, funny, engaging. A number of times I saw stuff like with her elbows that I was like, oh, that was kind of clever. That was interesting. Some instructional things that I think maybe, you know, obviously I'm like that. That's just how my brain works. I'm like, that cue could have used a little bit of work. But for the most part, very, very simple sequencing and a message that is repeated throughout and is consistent. The message you heard at the beginning was the same as the one you heard at the end. It was consistent, and it was packaged in this like very simple, accessible series of postures. I think we can take away something from that. So this is actually one of the better videos that I have reviewed so far, just in terms of what she's offering, what is on offer here. When I feel like what is on offer is like very empowering, very engaging, and I would imagine very welcome. Like if I felt like I didn't fit in a lot of yoga classes, I imagine myself looking at that practice and going, how come I wasn't seeing more of that before? Where was that 5 years ago? Where was that 10 years ago? Certainly, where was that 20 years ago? Let me tell you, it was not. So anyway, excellent stuff. Thank you, Jessamyn. That was really good. I really enjoyed that. I hope you did as well. If you have watched the video to this point and you have not subscribed to the channel, that is a crime. It's illegal. You have to subscribe now. Sorry, deal with it. You also have to like the video. And if you have like a suggestion for something you'd like me to review in the future, drop it down there in the comments. Would love to hear it. Would also love to hear your thoughts on this idea of balancing, honoring the traditions of yoga with body positivity and the embrace of naked yoga. That to me is very interesting. I would love to hear your thoughts on that. So hook me up that way. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I'll see you all next week, all right? Take it easy. Bye for now.